Yo, 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 yo. What's cracking, everybody? It is The Cave and all the gentlemen that you love, that hate, dislike, like, depending on what week it is. As everybody files on in, I think we even have a ghoul or a goblin or something joining us with a Jamaican accent, the last I knew. Yes, sir. So it's 9 o'clock on Saturday, and if I look a little different, it's because my Glenn. Let me go on and start some trouble now. If I look a little different, it's because my computer is female and it never does what I want it to do.
All right, Shawn. Very good. Very good.
You like that? I mean, it's gonna get me kicked out of some Facebook groups, but you know.
Good job off point. The producers probably just
Yeah, Cortez live from the wedding reception. And we can only see half of your face, brother. You're too good looking. There you go. We want to see the rest of you. And so, as in keeping with tradition, we're gonna. I'm laughing at the ghoul in the room.
I know, right?
In keeping with tradition, man, we're going to first give the floor to our esteemed guests for the evening, and let them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves and maybe how they came to the show, and then the three stooges, the three staples, will introduce themselves, and we'll get it cracking. And if I look a little distracted, it's because my notes and everything are all screwed up because of my different video format for the week. So, Eric Hampton.
Good evening, everybody.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to be on the show.
It is a pleasure. It is a pleasure.
You know, all of that good stuff.
Gotcha. It's a pleasure to be here. I have I met my man Glenn a few years ago through Jamie Gill, an author and wonderful person, hilarious, and
not bad to look at either, I must say.
Not bad to look at either. I love her like a sister, and she's amazing. And so I met Glenn, and I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor of a church in Linwood, Illinois, and a little bit about that a little later. But I'm a pastor. I also work for an organization that helps schools with students who have problems like truancy and things like that. So I'm a project manager there. So I'm glad to be here, and hopefully this won't be my only time. So I'll be careful what I say. And but if you ever need a monthly chaplain to come on through, I am your man, and that's my sales pitch. So glad to be here.
Hey man,
I need it.
We might need somebody to like. All of us in.
Hey Eric, I'm gonna let you be careful with what you say since you're the pastor. I love the Lord. He heard my cry, but I do want you to know I cuss a little.
Hey, disciples cuss too.
All right,
I'm okay.
All right.
Over tables when he was 12. I think we are right.
I don't think he was 12, Mel, but you know, I'm not sure where you were.
It was 12 tables. He turned over 12 tables.
Oh, that's what it says.
Then he disappeared for 18 years and came back when he was 30 and started his ministry. Don't, boy.
All right, so you haven't been drinking that much. All right.
Yeah, and he paid attention in Sunday school too. That's good.
And Mel has played a pastor on TV. So
that's what it is. But actually, I don't know that counts, but yes, he did.
I have.
Yes, he has. At least a pastor, a cop. I think a cop more than once. Yeah, I don't know his Wikipedia, but I'm just saying. Cortez.
What's going on, sir?
How you doing, man? Hey, it was not me. Somebody asked if the wife had given you permission to be on tonight. It was not me.
I don't know who did that.
Did she give you permission or did you need permission? Stand up for yourself.
I plead the fifth.
Hey, man, well, look, we know who you are, but in case somebody's watching for the first time, man, give us the skinny on you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to be here and all that good stuff.
Well, I'm Cortez Mac from Chicago. And nutshell, I got on here because I semi-bought the producer's lunch a long time ago.
I'm a producer. You ain't bought me no lunch.
I got to get on your show. At least wrap the chords.
All right.
Well, you've been on here at least 2 or 3 times, I know. So you got to be gaining some ground,
I'm working on it. I'm trying to get my acting skills back up. I'm tired of writing and producing right now.
Hey man, well I'd love to do some acting, so hire me. Matter of fact, I did some acting in my nephew's joint. So if you look on YouTube, Scaredy Cat under B Mace, you can see me get my little acting chops on.
Yeah, I act a fool. I don't know if you document that or you can put it in IMDb, but I've done it. I'm just
Mel,
asking if that
Mel, what
counts.
did you say?
I said you've been acting a fool for 40+ years.
Indeed. Hey Mel, today my anniversary, man. Get a noob some love. Today's my cap anniversary.
Oh, that's what's up.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey man, we got a lot to uncover, man. And again, I'm gonna need a little bit of help from the production team. In case I need to be made aware of something. But let's jump on in. I'm loosey goosey. I don't know what we want to get into first. We're 2-3 days from the election. I hate to say it, it feels a whole lot like it did in 2016 when we kind of thought we knew where it was going, and then all of a sudden, maybe that's me, or maybe I'm just
feeling the shift? Are you feeling the shift, Shawn?
I don't know that I'm feeling the shift. I might be buying into the hype because the internet is filled with all these last minute haymakers and Hail Marys that the orange baby man is trying to do. I stole that from Chris Denson. I got to give him credit for it the first time I use it. After that is mine. So yeah, I took that from Chris Just Denson, old classic legendary house music DJ in Chicago. But yeah, I might just be believing the hype a little bit, and I need to turn off the news. That might be the deal. Pastor.
Yes, sir.
Give me your take on it, man. What you say, Mel?
There's 2 of them.
Cortez is a pastor. I knew he was a preacher. I know his pastor. I'm telling y'all, I'm still cussing tonight. Man. I just want y'all to know I'm still cussing.
I think they've heard cursing before, Shawn.
You want my take on 45? What's going on right now?
Yeah.
Y'all done came into the lion's den.
The Lord will forgive me for the cussing.
See, another biblical reference, Glenn. Did you see what I just did there? You see what I just did?
Who was in the Lion's Den, though? What was his name?
Daniel.
Lion's Den could have been a store on 45th Street or something, 47th Street. We don't know that.
Lion's Den. Not to be confused.
It's an adult video store, but I didn't know that.
Video, not to be confused with that.
That's Lion Video.
And the Lion's Den. Okay.
No, it's the Lion's Den, Glenn. I've been there.
Okay.
But Pastor.
Maybe it was that kind of video store. My bad. Sorry, right. I don't know about those. Okay.
I know you stream all yours from home, but
my good Christian upbringing doesn't allow me to watch those types of movies.
But it allows you to tell that lie that you just told right now. All right.
Eric, you were about to speak. I'm sorry.
Can we get some peace in here? Some decency and order?
Well, I'll try. I don't know. Okay, so as a pastor, I don't tell people who to vote for.
Absolutely.
But real talk, I'm not voting for 45. He is bananas. He's off the chain. He's a nightmare. But I don't know how so many pastors are supporting this man. That's a whole nother topic we maybe can't talk about here. But if he's the chosen one, then I want the unchosen one. And he's not good for black and brown people. He's not good for women. He's not good for freedom. He's not good for healthcare. So I can keep going. But that's just how I feel about it. And I do believe the media helped him last election with so much free. I think they said several millions of dollars in free marketing and advertising that he normally would have had to pay for. But now we're regretting this experiment called a president. So that's my take on it. I hope I wasn't too serious. But
no. I before we let Cortez give his piece, I totally agree with you, man. I think he's I think there are good people and bad people. He's just a bad person. And I think that he would be a bad person if he was managing a Denny's. It doesn't matter what job he's doing. I think he's just a bad person. The heartbreaking thing for me is that there are this many people in the world that are either also bad or are willing to advocate for someone who's inherently bad just based on what it is they're trying to protect. You know, we don't seem to have you know, people that are more concerned with the good of man as much as, you know, with what his positioning does for them individually, you know. And so and they're willing to turn a deaf ear, you know. And now we're seeing that it's not about race, it's about wealth. And that's why you're seeing people of color that are rich coming out and still advocating for him, because, you know, he's protecting their things and their place, and their moral compass isn't a part of it. But I'm not gonna get on my soapbox. Cortez, Pastor Cortez, tell me what you think about it, brother.
I think the last 4 years has just been a bad political reality show, and it failed. Since we're dwelling in this reality TV mentality, that's all we've been dealing with. Because there ain't nowhere in the world, none of us black men or anybody intelligent would have been able to get away with anything that this one man has done in 4 years.
It's true.
That's all I'm saying. It's bad.
And the irony of his appointment, I mean, we won't even get into how ill prepared and ill equipped she is for the job. We'll let Glenn talk about that.
Before you go any further, Sean, real quick,
Huh?
I need a vote. I need a vote because we're talking about voting. I need a vote. I start a cleanse tomorrow.
I knew it was gonna be some foolishness, man. That's why I started laughing.
I start a cleanse tomorrow. So salted caramel or key lime?
Salted caramel.
Salted caramel?
Key lime.
Key lime.
What we got?
What is the one that gotta go?
I'm finna eat one of these.
The ice cream he's gonna enjoy before he goes on this thing tomorrow.
Oh, eat the one that's not lime.
Okay, salted caramel. We're gonna go with that. I don't want to take too much time because I had key lime yesterday. So salted caramel it is.
The role of Mel Roberson is being played by some actor we don't know tonight because this isn't him.
Cortez made his decision by empirical diagnosis. He didn't pick one; he just eliminated one. He said, well, just don't eat the lime. Don't.
The whole thing.
So, Glenn,
Yes, sir.
you know, we're hopefully, man, we're almost done talking about this dude, and hopefully, man, next week we will be talking about him in a past tense, looking down the history books at jail time, hopefully. But where are you at right now, man? With respect to the pastors here, as Tuesday is nigh.
It's nigh. The day draws nigh. I think it's interesting some of the endorsements that have come out this week. We've seen a narrowing of the gap in the polls in North Carolina, and one other state that I can't remember right now. We have seen his numbers amongst blacks actually go up amongst African Americans. His numbers are probably 2 to 3 points higher this year than they were in 2016, ironically. I know there was with surgical precision, they targeted black males to try to get their vote because they knew they weren't getting black women's votes. They can forget that. But seems to have worked a little bit, and he's made inroads. Hispanics in Florida, he's actually up. The interesting thing is, though, and the thing we've got to think about, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. If Biden wins those 3 states, it's a wrap. Those states bring him to 270 electoral votes. If everything else stays the same and those 3 states change, it's a wrap. It's an early night for Trump. Pay attention to that. You know, a lot of people, talk about the vote and everything else, but they have to win those 3 states. That's why Trump has been there 10 times in the last week in Pennsylvania. He is trying to
12 times actually in Pennsylvania. He's
12, yeah. So, and remember, he won these states by this much. So we're talking a few thousand votes. The world shifted with about 30,000 votes. Basically, we changed the course of history with 30,000 votes in those 3 states. We voted at basically 4 to 5 points lower. African Americans voted at 4 to 5 points lower than we had in 2008 and 2012. And pretty much that shifted the vote. So pay attention to those 3 states. I mean, that's what we're going to see. Biden is up comfortably. He's over 50% in a few of those states. It's just drilling into the numbers, not to be like a numbers nerd, but you have to look at where Hillary was and where Biden was. Hillary was probably 2 points ahead of Trump, but there was probably another 5 to 10% of people undecided in all 3 of those states. That's not the case this year. That gap is narrowed, and Biden has a lead that is held for the last 5 or 6 months. So
Hey man, it's fascinating to me, man, how he and then with what his son, ridiculously said the other day in his interview, it's fascinating to me, man, how the people that support this man, he has actually had the damn virus. And the people that support this man still attend these mega rallies with no masks, with all these people putting themselves at risk. And I just go, are you passionate? Are you uneducated? Are you a conspiracy theorist? Like, what is making you, dude? I was in Panda Express earlier today, measuring my 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to rallies, shoulder to shoulder. It's fascinating to me.
well, no, it's fascinating that somebody can lie, documented lies 2,000 times, and still get the support of probably 40 million people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of my favorite quotes, man, is that you will never awaken the person who's pretending to be asleep.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would call the people, man, that are advocating for this dude and supporting him, man. Most of them know better. They are pretending to be asleep.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that supported him, and they tell me, we know he's a dumbass, but we, like what he says about right to life, or we like what he does for the economy. If he, shuts up. One businessman told me, I wish he could just get out of his own way, because if he just leaves it alone, he's a good steward for businessmen. They see him as a loyal servant.
Yeah.
So if I'm a millionaire, billionaire, and I just want to be left alone,
yeah,
I'm like, yeah, this fool can do this, because he's really not going to come after me. He wants me to be his friend. He wants me to like him. So he's not going to do anything policy-wise that impacts me. Mm-hmm. So he's a loyal servant to those who want to hold on to their wealth.
I think the major issue here is, and I think, Glenn, you may have said this on a different show, I'm not sure, but if you were to compare this to a relationship, sometimes people are used to the crazy that they are used to.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So you might know that your spouse is abusive, but it's a tolerable abuse. Or you know what you're getting with them, as opposed to stepping out in the world and finding somebody new who potentially could treat you better. However, you're used to what this crazy is.
Yep.
And I think for those Republican voters, they're like, he's batshit crazy, but he's better than a Democrat.
Right.
What
I don't understand, like the governor of Maryland, Larry Hogan, was like, he hates Trump. He's totally a moderate Republican, straight down the middle, has governed well in Maryland. Some people might disagree, but I think he's governed the way you would expect a Republican to do it. So he went to vote, and he voted for Ronald Reagan. I'm like, really? You hate Trump that much that you wouldn't vote for him, but you voted for a dead president from 1980. You couldn't bring yourself to vote for somebody who's actually decent, and because they had
which is a vote for Trump anyway. At the end of the day, when you do that,
yeah, which is a vote for Trump. I mean, like, you didn't really make a statement there. That was actually pretty cowardly to do something.
It shows how inherently self-indulgent we are.
Yeah,
totally. That we think we know better than everybody, and we're willing to do some dumb shit just to stand on what we think is our, But I tell you this, man, he has a very distinct tale when it comes to African American people, which it amazes me that there are African American people that will still advocate for him with this distinct tale. He never tries to align himself with the black intellectual.
Not at all.
Never.
Talking about
He
Trump?
aligns himself with the trendy black popular star who doesn't have to have any kind of political acumen or any particular level of, academic success. He's championing rappers and, like, dude, you scared to talk to black people with educational backgrounds.
But that's what entertainers do. You look for the influencers who are going to move the biggest group of people. He's not going to sit down and talk to Michael Eric Dyson.
Right.
Like Lil Wayne.
Be a guest on AM Joy. He ain't gonna do that.
No, we're not doing that. No, not at all. But we'll let Candace Owens get out there and step and fetch it for him, or Vernon Jones shuck and jive for him, or somebody like that, So
Trevor Noah did an interview. I don't know if you all saw this or not, but he did an interview with Ice Cube.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. Where and Cube brought up some good points. I think a lot of people have condemned Cube for meeting with the orange guy just based off the premise that he's the enemy. And one of the things Cube said was, you meet with who's in power. You meet with who's in power. You know what I mean? To try to get stuff done. He was like, I met with the Democrats, I met with the Republicans as well. So no matter who gets in office next, if we can do something, we can do something. And it reminds me of when Dr. King met with Lyndon B. Johnson. At the end of the day, Lyndon B. Johnson wasn't pro-black. He wasn't like, let me make sure these Negroes, get what they need and get what they deserve as human beings. He was the typical white man in America at the time who was okay with separate but equal. However, in power. You know what I mean? He was the one in power. And at that time, it was what was necessary in order for us to move the agenda forward for people of color to get to where they needed to be. Yeah. So all things considered, like I personally, I'm not mad at Cube. I'm not even mad at Lil Wayne. Now, does Lil Wayne have the intellect of Cube? I don't think so. Is his agenda separate from Cube? Probably. But I wasn't mad at O'Shea for meeting with 45 or whatever, because at the end of the day, if I had the opportunity to meet with them, I would too. That doesn't mean that I support them. And this reminds me of, and then I'm done. This reminds me of my senior year in college. Newt Gingrich was Speaker of the House at the time, and where I went to school, he visited my school. So the CIA did a background check on me. They did all of these things because the third most powerful man in the world was coming to the university, and I was going to be sitting with him, and they needed to know who I was. And so Newt Gingrich was there, and I was a political science major in undergrad, and one of my professors was like, I'm extremely proud of you because you sat behind this man on national television, and when he said stuff that you disagreed with, you didn't clap. You just kind of looked to the side like, yeah, that's some bullshit. And that's really what it was. You know what I mean? It was like, he said some stuff I agree with. I was like, Newt, good point. I'll agree with you if you have a good point, regardless of what party you're in and all of that other stuff. But when it's something where I'm like, yeah, that's some BS, I'm not going to do it. And that's basically what Ice Cube is doing, in my personal opinion. That's what he's doing.
And I agree with you about that and meeting with the people in power. But you've had to look at it. And you mentioned Lyndon Johnson, and that was a good example. But Lyndon Johnson, being a Southerner, understood racism probably better than anybody else. But he also understood Congress. He was a true politician and a statesman. So he knew how to work Congress, and he knew how to work those Southern governors who were against civil rights. And he ended up doing more for civil rights than any other president. If you think about it, he appointed Thurgood Marshall to the Supreme Court. All the civil rights legislation was passed during his administration. He knew it was going to cost him the next generation of Southerners voting. He knew he was going to lose the South. He said that. He said, we've lost the South for a generation when he appointed Thurgood Marshall. He knew it. He knew it was politically the thing to do because he knew where the world was moving. Conversely, the president here isn't looking at anything in the future. There's no strategic thinking in what's going on in this administration. And that's
I mean, avoiding jail. That's the only thing that he's
yeah, there's no strategic
in the future.
concern. It's somebody asked him about QAnon, which QAnon, if people don't understand, QAnon is a right-wing group that started a rumor on the internet that all Democrats were running a secret pedophilia ring around the country, and that Trump is their hero and he's here to stop it. That is actually what they believe. And one guy actually shot up a pizza place in DC, I believe, and went to jail because he thought that there was a pedophilia ring going on because somebody on the internet had said that's what they believe. So somebody asked him that. He goes, "Oh, I don't believe that." So the announcer goes, "Well, you refuted some of their beliefs." Well, I know they like me, and I know they're against pedophilia. That was his answer. I mean, disingenuous BS is this. So it's not about meeting with people in power. It's understanding that people in power understand where they're going. To look around corners. If you're a strategic thinker, and even if you're a politician, Gingrich is a brilliant politician. Now, he's a political whore because he's going to say what he needs to do to get ahead, like he did with the Clinton impeachment thing. If we just want to have a history lesson, Gingrich is also pretty intelligent. He knows what to say when to say it, and it has some sort of filter sometimes. You may not agree with him, but you could at least sit down and have a conversation. I don't think that's possible in this administration with some of the people in it.
I think
we've taken up a lot of time on it, so I'm not
I
going to
think
say
Republicans have your phone tapped since they made it sound like you had rocks in your mouth when you were just talking. I don't know what that was about. Hey, one thing I do think, man, is that and it's hard to do, man, because just by tradition, man, Black people are passionate, emotional. It's our culture, it's not our race, it's our culture. We're passionate, man, and our hearts are fully invested in stuff, and sometimes we can commit to our emotions even past logic. But I think, man, that we have to figure out a way to stop treating this like a dating relationship. We don't have to be in love with this person. We don't have to sleep with this person. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to like them on that level. We have to look at their part in the game on the board and what we're trying to accomplish in this chess game. And if they are a better piece in the chess game than the other person, then we ride with them. And we don't have to champion them on a personal level, because at the end of the day, it ain't about them. It's about us and what we're trying to leave for our children and our nieces and nephews and our loved ones and the world we're trying to shape for them to benefit. And I think we can be too caught up in that, me included, because I tell you what, I can't think of a situation where I would vote for that dude because I vehemently loathe him that bad. It would have to be an intervention, man. The two pastors and then the pastors that I've known all my life would have to sit in a room and we'd have to sing Kumbaya and everything else to get me to be open to that dude because I see him as such a bad person that any benefit his position could have to me is diminished by who I see him as. My brother, I've said this before, and I say this for the sake of the pastors. My older brother says he's a meat suit. My brother thinks that Mitch McConnell is like the real live demon, and Trump is the physical body that is fronting for Mitch McConnell and legitimate evil space. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how my brother looks at it, man. Like, he is a meat suit.
But Shawn, if I want to tag in and kind of go sort of bring a point of being opposite of what you just saying, how it's always a tagline on Black people, like we're emotional when it comes to, I guess, when we all quote unquote vote for Democrat or whatever, but we'll never say that about our counterparts. They are more emotional and angry than we are, because if you look at the activities that's happened across this country, look at all the Karens. Look at all the malls that's been shot up by emotional Trump supporters. Look at the QAnon folks who are just look at the police who's literally on the side of quote unquote Trump, and they're walking around with MAGA stuff on, which they shouldn't be. So we're always talking about Black people being emotional with all this. I think it's okay for us to be emotional because as much as our counterparts want things, we want things too. So I just think it's okay for us to get emotional of the fact, because overall we kind of believe that we've been losing for a long time, but I kind of think we've been winning. We just can't see our wins because we're so focused on the losses. I mean, there are successful Black people in the country, but we're always getting tossed the Lil Waynes and the Kanye's in front of us to make it look like we're clowns. None of us are clowns on this page, and I agree. Donald Trump will not talk to a Colin Powell, who's an educated Black Republican. You see what I'm saying? He will bring up a diamond and silk to represent the Black people to make us look weak. We're not weak. And sometimes I just think we get caught up into the quotes about us, and we repeat them decades over and over, and we fail to realize we're some successful Black people.
I just don't want our emotional space to, no pun intended, trump our logical space. And I'll say this, and I 100% agree with you about them and their emotional capacity. However, I could give a damn. You know, it's us that I care about. So they can do whatever they do as far as I'm concerned. I want us to be able to table ours. And when they get out of control, however it is, and I'm not saying in a violent way, but however it is, we make sure they're held accountable for when they go off the rails. That's part of the problem. There's not the same accountability when they go off the rails. And so now we're in a time. I just watched the funniest video, dude, where some white dude was standing outside a store, but I guess he was feeling his little self, and his brother walked by him, and he kind of wanted to get a brother one of them, and the brother reacted to it, turned around, man, and it was about 8 seconds of the worst beat down I had ever seen in my life. They had to get this boy off this boy. He was already snoring, and the brother was still. I said, man, this is crazy. So I just want us to let them pay for their outbursts, because they're not going to pay for them on the level that we would. You know, they are never going to be held accountable like we are.
Well, to some degree they will, because this is not the 1940s and 50s and 60s where this is a generation who just standing back and watching this stuff. This is a generation who's physically fighting back. Ain't no white dudes walking in no Black people face like they did back in the
Wait a second. Hold on. Let's not be confused, because I hate the shirts that say I am not my ancestors. Right? I hate the ideology that our ancestors were not fighters. Because the civil rights movement and Dr. King's nonviolent movement was at the forefront, and that was what was publicized or shown or spoken about, because that's what media controlled, and that's what they wanted to be the message, because they wanted the Negro to be passive.
Right.
That's what they showed the most of. But best believe there was a huge population of Black people, the Black Panther Party, the Nation of Islam, and all of those people who were fighting back, and people that had no affiliation with any organization that was just like, I'm not taking this stuff, right? There were the modern day Nat Turners of the civil rights movement that were like, you know, so to say, well, this ain't the 60s or 70s or the non-violent. No. We had our fair share of people that would get in your tail, you know what I mean, that would throw hands when it was necessary to throw hands. That wasn't scared of the police dogs or the fire hoses or any of that stuff.
Let me jump in on that, Mel. And I totally relate to you, understand what you're saying, but I think that there are times, there's two things that I feel about that. I think there are times when that message is misinterpreted a bit. I don't think that it means that Black people in that time were laying down and, you know, didn't feel this or that. I think it was a different time where we are now the kind of people who just don't give a damn. Whatever the price is that we got to pay for kicking back and standing up, we're willing to do that. Whereas I think that they were more aware of the price that they would pay in that particular period of time. And I think that it may have had to do with how resistant they were or weren't. that's my first point. My second point is that you're not the first person that I've heard, be angry about those shirts and that kind of thing. And this is one of my problems with Black people. We are quicker to jump on each other than to educate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Just educate them. Tell them, well, if that's your perception, let me tell you what the real deal is. Because I see on Facebook all over the place, oh, I can't stand, ooh, I wish somebody would, what? Slow down. You know something that they didn't know. You filtered it in a way that they didn't filter it. God bless you and your ministry. Now, why don't you educate them so that going forward, they know how to speak to that thing more eloquently and more intelligently than getting on Facebook and bashing them. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't help anybody. We can always teach each other, but I find that Black people are much quicker to jump on each other than we are to educate each other. That's just part of our culture. That's just my take on that. That's just my take on that.
And sort of kind of response to the idea of being passive, we also got to remember the ideology of church played a lot of that turn the other cheek thing. So we're in 2020, ain't no cheeks being turned now.
Well, that's a whole lot of the reason that a lot of Black people have an issue with church, because they feel like it was a white man created tool to make you look to this unknown savior while they beat the hell out of you, and you're waiting on him to come and save you. Meanwhile, you got 95 different lash marks on your back because dude is he held up by a train or something.
Pastor Eric, I'm Peter, just so you know. Just so you know. That's another biblical reference, Glenn. All right, just in case you didn't know about Peter.
I know you're ready to cut somebody's ear off. I know you are. It's okay. That's what Peter did.
Just so you know. All right. It is 9:38 Central Standard Time, gentlemen. I motion that we move to relationships.
You know what, man? There was a time when I thought I was the one the most eager to turn that corner, but I think you're right there with me, Mel. You like, let's get it on. Let's go.
Let's get the people what they want. They come to the cave to hear what the man has to say about relationships.
Hey, I'm always paraphrasing and scared that I'm gonna mess it up. And Glenn sent me something earlier this week that I had actually seen. Did I send it to you or did you send it to me? Glenn,
I sent it to you. I sent it to you. Yeah, I sent it to you.
I seen it though already when you sent it to me, and so.
Okay.
And if I screw it up, Glenn, get me back on track. But it's basically a meme, man, that shows a basketball. We used to say, the old folks used to say back in the day, a basketball globe. But it was a basketball goal with or rim, and it had basically wooden planks bolted to it so that nothing could get in it. And underneath it, the caption said, women. To all the guys, go ahead, shoot your shot. Suggesting that no matter who shoots or what you shoot, hell, the basket is blocked off. So you're not going to score regardless. And Glenn mentioned something that I have lived because, Pastor Eric, are you married?
I am.
Okay. How long have you been married?
9 years.
9 years. Okay. All right. Hallelujah.
When a man findeth a wife,
come on, Rev.
Findeth a good thing.
Hey, wait a minute. Y'all leave Pastor Eric alone because he co-signed on my happy birthday to Sanaa Lathan last year, which I greatly and deeply appreciate because I misquoted a Bible verse about finding a wife and finding a good thing and everything, but he signed off on it and everything. So I really appreciate that last year.
We're not doing that this year. Because
I'm not gonna do it this year,
though. Sitting right off screen, and I don't want him to catch a shot in the face because he say the wrong thing. Hi,
my duck game is good.
In his house, boy,
my duck game is so good. I'm like bob and weave. I take these exercises where you get your neck in shape to do this. So I'm good.
So Glenn and I were laughing because women are, and let me not, say it as a universal affirmative because it's not that. But the experiences I've had and the women that I've known, are certainly quick to make these blanket statements about the kind of guy that they're open to, or the kind of guy that they're, oh, I just want a good guy, or girl, I just want a guy with a job, or I just want a guy that'll take me to dinner once a month. And the reality is, women say that, and you can have everything on the list. And I think the list, of course, has done us the most damage, than anything, our list mentality when it comes to choosing a mate. But you can have everything on the list and still not be the guy. And that's what they don't really tell you. And so then you think, okay, she said she wanted this, she wanted that. I've been here. She said she wanted this, got this. Said she wanted that, got this. Said she don't mind if you don't have this. Oh, good, because I don't have that. want this, and you still are not the guy. So
Can I speak to that?
Of course you can.
All right. So let's look at it like this. She said she wanted an engine, a motor, a transmission. You know what I mean? All of these things, right? As I carry my cake and my ice cream back to my office.
Yeah.
However, I prefer, personally, Audi over Acura, right? Both nice cars. They both have engines. They both have motors. They both have transmissions. They have all of the things that were on the list. But I either prefer an Audi or a Lexus over an Acura. The Acura will be my last pick. So it might not necessarily be that you have the things on the list, but there's still some fine things or some details rather that were, because the list didn't have all of the specificities that were necessary that got the car bought off the lot. So the motor, the engine, the transmission, the heated seats and all of those things were there. However, it wasn't a Lexus.
I 100% agree with you. I'm just
Yeah,
saying,
but then you
that's
need
not the
to
way they
stay off
present it,
the.
though.
Then you need to
present it
stay
like,
off
if they
the
got a
Audi
steering
line.
wheel and it'll roll.
Yeah.
I paid for it. I can roll with it.
Then you
People
need to
don't know
stay off
that
the
they on the
Toyota.
Audi lot though, bro.
They need to stay off the Toyota lot if they're looking for a Lexus. You can't just put you can't do a wide-reaching statement of, I just want a good man.
Right.
And leave it at that. And you just gonna drop it out
What is
there.
your operational definition of good, though? We can say the same thing. I want a good woman. What is your operational definition of good? What is that, though? You know what I mean?
There's no such thing really. Good is what's good to you.
Right.
Good is the most. A good man or a good woman is the most relative description ever, because
and that's why I said, what's your operational definition? What does that mean to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there's no one answer to that. The person who's looking for the good defines that. You might be good for somebody else and terrible for, I know ladies that love a man that comes home every night and stays home and talks to her while she cooks dinner and all of that. And I know other women that say, nigga, find something to do and get out of my face. So it's I'm sorry for the white people that's watching. It's a term of endearment in our culture.
No, you cannot use that word.
Oh, I can.
No, not you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Y'all, that is not the green light. Hey man, you ever see Dave Chappelle when he said he was at the party and he was out with his boy and his boy got a little beside himself and he used the word. He said, man, he got whooped that night. He said, I hated to do it, but he was talking about my people.
Pastor Eric, did you want to say something? Because we got a couple of more days in marriage, so
you holding back, Cortez?
Well, you know what?
I can hear y'all. I'm going to pour around. I can hear you.
I got you. I think in regard to the women, that stuff is all about competition. They develop some idea of competing in everything, with the bullet points. But I've learned, man, ain't nobody gonna ever get what they exactly want. Some things are just a matter you need. You need somebody to be there for you, because your dudes ain't gonna be there to have that shoulder lean on. You you can't get busy with your dudes, you know, and it's too late in the day to be trying to put your little Peter Weeder in everything. That's the clean
Not at
version
all.
because I don't know who watching. But after 21 years,
Wow.
after 21 years, I've learned. I found my car. My car didn't have everything, but during the years, my car enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
Not just in character, but educationally. We enhance by increasing the family. We enhance by getting to know each other, even with the changes. Some things that I've grown to not like no more, that we'll have to have that conversation. You know, finances, we had to talk. But see, it's really about companionship. And I say this in every marriage function that I have. It's amazing how animals get it right. It's amazing. But
So what do you mean? What do you mean? Expound. What do you mean?
It's a conversation we had when we talk about the king of the jungle, the lion. We use him as an example. The lion never has to roar to make his presence known. The only time the lion roars is when he have to protect his herd or his women or whatever the case may be. All we doing right now as human is arguing about who's going to be in power. Power struggle. I tell wives in our marriage thing, wives been so conditioned to always say, well, I cook, I clean, and we've been saying that forever. But I always go to wives, you're going to talk about cook and clean. Who keeps the car running? Who mows the lawn? So everybody plays their part in ever to make it work. But the problem is, you got to have a desire, motivation to make it work. You can't get mad because there's a disagreement and get divorced. That's a waste of a marriage, all that money you spent. But there are reasons for divorce. I'm not saying that. But I've learned, man, a woman being married to a woman is a beautiful thing. And we have made it the most negative thing in our society.
Well, I think that
we have become petty.
No. Well, that's sort of where I'm going. We have somehow convinced ourselves that we are adversaries.
Exactly.
And not allies. And I think that is the biggest tragedy in relationships today, that we don't look at our mate as our primary ally.
Exactly.
And I think, and while I hate gender separations, I will say that I think men are far more guilty of doing that than women are, because women seek that level of relationship, men surrender to it. And so when men
fully
enter
disagree.
that space, they feel like they are giving something up. They feel like they're sacrificing something, whether it's their freedom to move about with their guys, whether it's to date the other women that they've always maintained the team, whatever it is, you know, men.
No, that's a petty dude. That's a petty dude.
No. I think it's a conditioned dude. You know, it's somebody who has fallen victim to the program. Oh Lord, the wise man Kennery is speaking. Hold on. Okay. He said some women just don't understand the partnership thing.
Exactly.
Because at the same time, and Kennery's divorced, he's speaking from experience. And at the same time, women often weaponize the relationship too. That's what we were talking about last week. You know, they seek this level of commitment, and then when they get it, they often change the rules, change dynamics, and that's weaponizing it. I don't care what you say. That's
all day, every day.
If you're going to use something to get me and then change the rules once you got me, then you've weaponized my indulgence.
All day, every day, bro.
Yeah, and so and men too often think women are robbing them of something. I was talking to a friend of mine, man. She blew my mind, and I posted. And I spend a lot of time if I'm going to post something, because I have a relationship with words, and I want my words to have a certain rhythm and a certain weight. And what she laid on me, man, was so heavy. I could never get comfortable with the way I wanted to express it. And I looked at it like the following day and just hated the words that I chose. But what she told me was, and she's a young lady who's been in a long relationship, hasn't turned toward marriage yet. And she says, a woman don't want you as an old husband. Don't want you as an old husband, especially when you were young and could have married her, but you refused to. Then you wait till you old, can't do all the things that you used to do. Don't nobody want you like they used to want you. Now you ready to put a ring on it. That's now Cortez. That's petty. That's some petty bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I think men too often do that. You got a good thing, ride that race, do that thing. You can't expect a woman to want you. You had her wait. I saw a thing with a man proposing to this babe on the plane. They had been together 45 years.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what kind of hell? What kind of foolishness is this? that either one of them would wait that damn long.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we already know that ain't what we want, or somebody don't want that, that's a totally different thing. But for me, my belief is, if we ain't clear, it's the man's responsibility to be clear what we doing. If you don't want that, the man is supposed to find that out. You don't want to be married? Okay, cool. Then I'm not disrespecting you or disrespecting the relationship by not asking you. But if you don't have that conversation and you're dwelling in this abyss of unknown, then you have to go with tradition. And most women want the ultimate commitment from their man. And until she tells you that's not what she wants, that should be your agenda. Or after a certain amount of time, you should be willing to step aside, because what are you doing it for? And I'm not talking about 20 years old babies, kids. I'm talking about seasoned folks. Now if he old when you get him, you can't be mad. but if he was young when you get him and he wouldn't marry you till he was old, that's both.
Yeah, if you picked a used Lexus, that's on you.
That's
Hey,
well,
Lexus hold their value for a long period of time. Let me be the first to tell you.
Hell, if you a used Lexus, when you pick a used Lexus, that's all right. You might be a used Lexus yourself.
At least get a program car.
Hey, dude, I'm on the other side of 50. It ain't no carnation milk on the breath for nobody with me. But yeah, man. So I just think we've got to stop, man. I just feel like, man, we could do so much together. And we're too busy looking at each other, man, like we're opponents, like we're adversaries. And then by the time we're ready to do the work with that person, you years behind. You could have been 3/4 the way up the hill by then, but you're on that bull.
But Shawn, in addition to that, I know we all make our personal decisions on how we get into a relationship, mainly marriage. But also, since we're in a sponge feeble generation, we also got to look what's been put out here in front of us. Look at all our entertainment mediums. They show everything negative about our relationships.
Yeah, but they've always done that. You know what I'm saying? They've always done that. And there is a population of us that knows that.
Right.
And there's a population of us that does not know it. Like, I mean, I sit back and I go, that's some, and we can argue it all day long, just like we argue and the message, that Cardi B and all them, saying or whatever to the young ladies. I'm just no longer apologetic for it. I don't like them. I ain't got to like them. And you ain't got to like that I don't like them. But I still don't like them. So
there you go.
Now let's drink this beer and keep it moving.
Bro, that sounds like a rap lyric.
I just think there's so much. We're just so selfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest problem, Pastor.
We're just so selfish. And if a couple comes to me, I could tell them, listen, we don't have to talk. You don't have to come to me and sit on the couch in the office. Stop being selfish. Amen. Get out of my office.
Right.
It's too much. I'm not going to counsel folks who not married. Oh, well, we're dating and we're having problems. Good. I hope you argue. I hope you fight. I hope if you got the cuss, you got the cuss. If you got to scream, you got to scream. If you got to walk out on them and change your number, whatever. Because if you don't handle this now, you're going to spend how much money, walk down this aisle, waste my time, and then we're going to be talking later. Stop being so selfish, because this is what I think. We don't want relationships now because we think somebody better will come after we get in this relationship.
Exactly.
Like we said, no, I'm not the Benz now. I'm the Toyota.
Come on, Reb.
But I need you because you're what I'm missing. You might be the correction, you might be the discipline, you might be the financial management. I've got the work ethic, but maybe I'm just not good. Here, I'm going to come home and bring you the money and you pay the bills, because I've met couples where it's the man who spends the money, not the woman. He's the one buying more shoes, not her. And if we don't have some type of you are what I'm not, and stop being so selfish, maybe I'm supposed to kiss the frog, and we don't want to do that. And I don't know what we're expecting in life, but we need to get over it. That's why.
You just laid that thing out like.
Yes, you did.
So many years ago, I had to stop watching MTV Cribs. I had to just, no, that's not for me. Lord, show me who's for me. Show me who's for me, and then talk to your boys and get a confirmation that, I met this young lady at the gym. I met my wife at the gym. I ran up on her and I said, hey, I think if you did this, it would help you. She's, oh no, I'm good. Oh, all right. And I went about my way. I was walking out and something told me go right back. And she was disappointed that I was leaving. Sometimes rejection, we take it and we don't know what to do with it. Turn that thing around. If you think you're supposed to talk to her, shoot that shot again. Steph Curry, how many times has he practiced that shot? Go back.
I wish you was on the show a couple of weeks ago, because that was a topic within itself, Pastor, because I am, especially at this stage in my life, and I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. It's just true to who I am.
Chantel.
I don't feel like it has to be an obstacle course. Mm-hmm. Like, either you want to turn a corner or you don't. So I'm not going to wear you down. Like, I know some cats that decide they see somebody and they like, okay, I'm going to wear you down. They like a Latin fighter. They going to keep coming. That's all they know is to keep coming. I'm not that dude. You reject me. I figure you're an intelligent lady, because I wouldn't be pursuing you if you weren't. Mm-hmm. You know what you want, what you don't want. You've just made it clear you don't want me. I'm going to take it gracefully and with some class, and I'm going to vanish. Whereas the culture of women often, which I don't really get, they want to test your merit and test your sincerity. And in that, they think that you're supposed to endure repeated rejections before they think you're serious. And no, I was serious the first time. I just didn't want, multiple rejections behind it. So
it's a matter of perspective, though. You know what I mean? Like, you got to think about it from the standpoint of how many times have they been approached by guys who weren't of your caliber, where they didn't know, and they gotta maneuver through the manure, right, in order to figure out that this is a real man coming to them. Yeah. So it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, right? Yeah. There's this 50-50 thing. There's two sides to every story. Usually somewhere in the middle is the truth. Mm-hmm. So I get it. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, brother. Mason.
Right. Because it's not.
I'm also looking at it from their perspective.
I've had women paint themselves to be a certain way, and then as you continue to investigate, you find out that what they told you was how they wish they were, not how they actually are.
Right, and men do it too, though. Men do that same thing, and they floss, and there's nothing behind them. So it's a matter of when you mature enough to know in your heart that it's the right situation, and you move forward with it.
Yeah, and I mean, if the Lord himself breathed on me and told me to keep coming.
I mean, I used to want a burning bush. I ain't gonna lie. I needed a sign from God. I needed, like, you gave Moses one. Like, if miracles still happen, I want a burning bush and put it in the sky. Do something to show me, because I obviously was getting it wrong for a long time, too. So I needed to know. I needed to be clear.
I'm single, so clearly I've only gotten it wrong.
This could be a whole other topic. We're bringing the two of you back because we have to go.
Yeah, because I get a feeling that Pastor Eric got some stuff that he can teach me and help my perspective with on that thing.
No doubt. Closing comments from our guests. Let's go to Cortez first, brother. If you got us a closing comment real quick before we get out of here.
Damn, it's 10 o'clock, huh?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I appreciate
Goes fast, Pastor, doesn't it?
I appreciate the chat. The invitation is always good to have good chats with brothers, and just keep your hands up, man. We all in this together, whether we single, married, or whatever level we on. We are all in this together. One love, my brothers.
All right, Pastor Eric.
I'm just glad you all are doing this, and I'm gonna ignore the mask right now. I support you guys. Gonna watch weekly and share weekly. I love to be on anytime. You all love the chat, but this is very good. It's good for me. It's good for I think everybody watching. So thank you so much for what you're doing.
All right, me, Glenn, and Brother Mason. I'll go first. Hey, love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the show for as long as you have. Please share this out. Make sure that people see this. This is meaningful conversation that we have every single week. I love each and every one of you, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Thank you for being part of our not studio audience, but our internet audience for so many weeks. We appreciate you guys. Brother Glenn?
49,000 views since we started this 7-8 months ago. Thank you all. We appreciate it. Please keep sharing it. Please keep bringing people to the cave on Saturday nights. We love you all. Appreciate you.
Our host with the most, Brother Mason.
Right. So much appreciate your support, and appreciate these cats for allowing me to come in and serve as the host and moderator and learn every week and get challenged every week and challenge every week. It's just a beautiful thing, man, to be in the presence of repeatedly bright, intelligent brothers, man, who are willing to challenge your perspective and as well be challenged by different perspectives. So I hope people continue to watch us, man, continue to support us. I'm always getting great comments from people about the show when they engage me, man. So I think we're doing a good thing. And I know we'll have Cortez back, and I'm certainly hoping that we get past Eric back up in here. I believe he can ruffle a few feathers and teach people a few things, me included. So if nothing else, man, we're hoping that next week we have an interesting conversation after November 3rd. We'll be looking forward to talk about it. Either I'm gonna come on crying, I'm gonna come on smiling. So until next Saturday, man, we love y'all. This has been The Cave. We see you next time.
Shout out to G Rose.
Camped out at home for COVID? Join us, Indie TV, where you will see the talk shows, movies, drama, action, and comedy. Be the first and see it first. Sign up now for free at Indie TV.